we had on the second day only we had Nachiketa ejecting. We had Skonda Ahuja being shot down. Okay, and we had the helicopter also, the Mi-17 also, I think Mi-17 also, or it was a Mi-8, Mi-8 also getting fired. Okay, so the initial setbacks were there. I was sitting in the ATC supervising flying, and the Datko who was there on controls, so he was actually frozen when he heard Mayday, Mayday, and Engine Caesar and all. So I told him give him a call for ejection, ejection. I took his mic, I said eject, eject, and he ejected.
Well, before starting the podcast, I would like to tell you guys that the audio and the video quality might not be that good, but still, the content is definitely of a great quality. So, make sure you watch the podcast till the end if you are interested in Indian Air Force. And if you guys would like to help us in our journey, then make sure you like and subscribe the video and share the video to your friends who would like to join Indian Air Force, because more and better of this will be coming in the future.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to our very first podcast of AVIATOR'S VOICE. Today we are having retired Wing Commander Mukesh Tiwari, a psychologist and a fighter pilot. So we are deeply honored to have you on our very first podcast. So we are looking forward to you sharing your valuable insight, your experiences, which will be helpful to us and audiences. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you for inviting me, Mehul.
So before we get into your service, so what was your motivation to join Indian Air Force, and what was your life before Indian Air Force?
Before Indian Air Force, if we say that I actually belong to a very pure civilian family background. Okay, so other than one of my buaji's son, who is my cousin brother, he was in army, and other than that, there was no one actually in army. Okay, so my childhood was and my inspiration was only seeing him when he used to come back during holidays, okay, during vacations at our place. So seeing that olive green uniform, that way of life, okay, the way he used to conduct himself was the inspiration for me to join Air Force and join armed forces. In fact, thereafter, once I came in class 12th or so, so the planes became exciting. Seeing them flying became exciting, and that propelled me towards changing my goal from army to Air Force actually. So that is how I took CDS. Okay, once I was in the final year of my graduation, and subsequently I joined Air Force and joined fighter wing of Air Force.
Yes, sir. So did you go through AFA or BFTS?
I did my basic flying from BFTS Allahabad. That time it was in Allahabad. We flew HPT 32 there, and advanced flying was conducted on Iskra's TS 11. Okay, that was in Hakimpet.
Yes, sir. So how was the course as BFTS, and was it different to compared to AFA?
In AFA, actually, that time the philosophy was that half the course used to go to BFTS and half the course used to go to AFA. So those who went to AFA, they used to fly Kiran Mark 1 there, and we all who came to BFTS, we were flying HPT 32. The difference between AFA and this place, BFTS, was only that the Kiran was a jet aircraft, a trainer jet aircraft, and HPT 32 was a propeller aircraft.
Yes, sir. So how was your first solo flying? Can you describe your experience?
First solo was purely mechanical because it was in that slow moving aircraft also, time actually flew by and you were just about to land. That is how it went about. So it was purely mechanical, whatever you have learned before going solo in the dual sorties. Okay, so you were busy carrying out those checks, those height, speed, direction, maintenance, and following the exact norms, okay, exact way which way in which you are being taught to carry out the circuit and landing. Okay, so it was very mechanical. Of course, yes, after you come back and you get that thrill that okay, you have landed the aircraft, and you are back into the dispersal where your course mates and other people are there to waiting for you to receive. Okay, so that was great, and that feeling actually sinks in much later after you have landed. But during the flying, it is very very mechanical.
Yes, sir. So, flying at daytime and nighttime, how much is the difference? And have you ever experienced spatial disorientation at nighttime when flying the aircraft?
Not exactly disorientation, but yes, flying by night is demanding. Okay, because the horizon is not available to you, and you are mostly relying on the instrument. So it is slightly demanding, and that is the reason that night flying commences only after the pupil cadet or the officer has attained some amount of experience or some amount of control over the aircraft. Okay, so once he becomes comfortable in air during day flying, is the time that he is progressed into night flying. So it is demanding. It is there that you have to be alert all the time, basically believing the instruments which are there in front of you for any kind of disorientation or any kind of discomfort which you feel, if at all, in the cockpit. And I have never felt or I have never experienced any kind of a disorientation as such. Yes, but I have heard so many times people getting disoriented. Okay, one of my course mates got disoriented. So many people got disoriented when they do some kind of a jerky movement. Okay, which actually shakes off their focus and their concentration, and they get into that kind of a uncomfortable feeling. But
Yes,
for
sir.
me, it was I haven't got disorientated by night anytime.
Yes, sir. So I was watching one of your podcasts. You mentioned that in MiG-27 there was no GPS. So how did you at night uh, planned it out so that you follow the right route? Because you were, I think, believe deployed in Srinagar.
Yeah, yeah. Initially, actually, there was no GPS in MiG 27. Okay, so instead of GPS, they had a rudimentary digital computer. Okay, which was there. But that was a very basic way or the basic aid for navigation, although worked quite well, but not as accurate and as good as GPS was. So initially there was nothing. We used to fly that basic art of navigation. Okay, reading your map, studying it well, planning it all, and thereafter going by the checkpoints which you have planned en route. Okay, that's the basic art of flying. Okay, art of navigating, which is being taught to you in your training stage. So that used to be there. Of course, the help was there with the help with this digital computer, but it wasn't that accurate. And especially in the terrain, which is mountainous, hilly terrain of Srinagar Valley, there it used to give a lot of errors. Okay, because the update was not available. Okay, which used to be there from the ground beacon, and that used to cause error. So initially, it was only by studying your map and, of course, taking whatever help which you can get from the digital computer which was there in the aircraft that time.
Yes,
Later
sir.
on, of course, we had GPS also installed, and that made life pretty easy for MiG 27 pilots also.
Yes, sir. So walking through war-like situation which happened Kargil war, you mentioned that you flew in close formation with MiG-29 in order to combat any aerial threat which may come uh, from the opposition.
It wasn't a closed form actually. The formation which we flew during the initial phase of Kargil war was that since we didn't have GPS, and GPS were there installed in MiG 23 BNs, and BNs also were operating along with us in from Srinagar. MiG 29s were the escorts which used to be with us in the formation at, of course, at a distance, the formation distance which was there, keeping an eye on us, and of course clearing the way or clearing the path towards which we are going, so that we don't have any hostile aircraft bouncing onto us. So we were actually MiG 27 pilots were actually formatting on MiG 23 BNs. Okay, so we were in close form with them, so that and that was basically required because we resorted to GPS bombing that time.
Yes, sir.
So we were close forming on MiG-23 BNs, so that in close tucked in position, so that whenever they used to give the call of fire, we also used to fire, so that bomb goes onto the target. MiG-29s were escorting us all the time.
Yes, sir. So I was watching this one podcast. It mentioned that old Spanish bombs were used in this war, and one podcast in KT Sebastian, the MiG-21 fighter pilot, he mentioned that uh, in order to strike the bomb
Yeah, yeah.
at the
Continue.
position, that someone had to physically go from and fire the flares or use your own flares because we didn't have laser guided bomb initially.
Yeah, that was the flares were being fired just to pick up the target actually. Okay, so in that hilly terrain, when we were operating in Srinagar, okay, during Kargil war, picking up the target was pretty difficult because they were these Pakis, they were sitting on the hilltops. Okay, and from the height at which we were flying at around 10 kilometers, 11 kilometers, okay, those heights were actually, it was very difficult to pick up at which hilltop are they sitting. So for that to pick up the target, well, we were being assisted by army people. Okay, those who were in the close vicinity of those people. So they used to at that given time we used to have a briefing along with them, a coordinated briefing, in which at the given time they used to fire flare for us to pick up. Okay, that this is the peak where we have to go and drop our bombs. And as far as Spanish bomb was concerned, it was there. Okay, it was there, but we didn't use it. At least MiG-27 never used it because it was a sort of a cluster bomb which was there, and we were majorly we were dropping 1,000 pounders, or what we call it as 500 kg bombs, 500 kg, 250 kg, and 100 kg bombs.
So, so talking about aircraft MiG-27, so was the aircraft we were flying, it was purely ground attack aircraft, am I right?
Yeah, yeah, it was purely ground attack.
Yes, sir. So, sir, if some aerial warfare which may not happen or may can happen, so was there anything you could do at that time?
MiG-27, the philosophy was to take action and exit from that area as fast as possible. Okay, because it was not designed to get into aerial combat. Okay. However, yes, limited aerial combat was being, it had the capability of getting into limited aerial combat, but the philosophy was to mainly for using it as a bomber aircraft for dropping the load onto the target. And if in case there was any attack by the enemy nation, then MiG-29s were supposed to take on them. Okay, because that was a air defense aircraft which was supposed to be with us in the formation, taking care of such kind of events.
Yes, sir. So you flew MiG-21 as well for initial training. Which type of variant was this, and also at which squadron you were at that time when you flew 21?
Initial MiG-21 was from 30 Squadron. I was in 30 Squadron, Tezpur that time. And that was the initial conversion onto the fighter aircraft after getting commissioned. We were flying Type 77 that time. Okay, the
So was it
initial
MOV 2?
MiG-21. MOF2 was a separate unit, and 30 Squadron. Both the MOF2 as well as 30 Squadron were assigned the conversion role for people who are coming into the fighter stream.
Yes,
So
sir.
I was in 30 Squadron. I was in 30 Squadron. And MOF2 and 30 both were located in Tezpur only that time.
Yes, sir. So how was MiG-21 Type 77 different from MiG-21 this Bison and all?
Bison I haven't flown, but what we know is that Bison is a improved, or a, you can say, advanced version of MiG-21's Type 75, which was there earlier. Okay, Type 77 was purely a conversion aircraft for people who are getting into fighter stream. Okay, once you get into fighters, you fly MiG-21s. I'm talking about that time. You fly MiG-21s. Once that is Type 77, and so yes, some of the people used to go to Type 96 also.
Yes, sir.
These two were the basic fighter aircraft for conversion. And after you are declared as your syllabus gets over, then you are posted into various units, various operational units, I will say. Okay. Um, I went into 22 Squadron, which was in Hashimara. People who went to MiG-21 Type 75, they were in Uttarlai, Jodhpur, various other squadrons. So Bison is a version which was improved Type 75 BIS. Okay,
Yes, sir.
having more of electronics, having more of other facilities which were there. Upgraded version of, you can say, BIS.
Sir, was Agada there?
Who?
Agada, the famous mixed site.
Agda, yeah, Agda was there. Agda is the basic artificial horizon which is there in all Russian aircrafts actually.
Yes, sir. So, can you share some interesting moments or any emergency or difficult phases were there while flying that you uh, countered it or anything?
During the conversion or during operational flying?
Sir, operational flying.
Operational flying, yes, when we were in Kargil, difficult moments, I'll say, picking up target. Okay. We had on the second day only, we had Nachiketa ejecting, we had Skonda Ahuja being shot down. Okay, and we had the helicopter also, the Mi-17 also, I think Mi-17 also, but it was a Mi-8, Mi-8 also getting fired. Okay, so initial setbacks were there, and thereafter the philosophy was changed from dive attack. We were told to raise up because they had those shoulder fired Stinger missiles, and we went up to 11 kilometers for dropping the bombs based on GPS. That was the difficult moment was to pick up the target that time. Yes, the weather was also playing dirty at times when the target used to get covered with the help of clouds and all. And interesting was one of the day when we were coming back, so the entire valley was clouded. Picking up the runway and landing was a exciting experience which we had.
Yes, sir.
So it's all a mixed bag. It's all started actually from the day when we ferried out. The when we ferried out from Adhampur, that day only there was clouding, and I was in the first formation, four aircrafts along with CO. So we got airborne, and thereafter the cloud base came down when we were entering a valley from Banihal. We got into cloud and separated, landed somehow. The other formation which was following us was sent back because it started raining. So the adventure and the excitement started from the scratch. I will say from the beginning only. But it was good. It was satisfying. We were able to achieve our aim, whatever we went there for, and a lot of good memories, good experience. Of course, the day for which you are training yourself as a fighter pilot, you were able to achieve that moment for some time.
Yes, sir. Sir, did you practice any dog fighting, close combat fighting in the 21?
Yes, yes. In MiG-21s, there was the syllabus contains close combat. Okay. Even in MiG-27, when you come and when you convert onto MiG-27, there are a couple of sorties for that, for close combat, but never actually got engaged with anyone in close combat. But that was
Yes,
not the role of MiG-27. MiG-27 was basically a purely ground attack aircraft designed to carry bombs, drop it, and thereafter come back.
yes, sir. So, did you participate in any exercises or international exercises which used to occur at
No,
that time?
I haven't participated in any international exercises as such because MiG-27, when we were there that time, very limited international exercises were there. Okay, of course, later on in the later half, the exercises, all these foreign air force, they started coming to India and we started doing it. But I haven't participated in any international exercise as such.
Yes, sir. So, talking about MiG-27 more, sir, what was like sitting in the cockpit? Can you describe the experience of MiG-27? Was it purely uh, analog based, or was there a MFD, or was there?
There was no MFD in the initial MiG-27. It was a purely analog based cockpit. Okay. Digitalization was much later when the upgrade started. MiG-27 upgrade started. At that time, it was some of the some I'll say gauges and all were being digitalized. But initially, it was a purely analog aircraft, analog cockpit. Okay, wherein everything was needles, needle based, head down flying, no head up flying. Okay, a very basic aircraft, but yes, very powerful. Okay, at that time it was one of the fastest aircraft at low level. You cannot catch MiG-27 once it gets onto sweep 72 and it exits the area. So that was there, yes. And of course, a big jump from MiG-21s, which we used to fly during a basic stage, to MiG-27, wherein, of course, when you get into the cockpit, the digital computer which is there, okay, it takes about 15 minutes to synchronize. Okay, so what we say is the Kawa tuning used to be there for synchronizing all the equipments. It was good. And that for the for those years when we were flying MiG-27 in early 90s or 80 late 80s, that was one of the best aircraft as far as ground attack aircraft was concerned.
Yes, sir. So I've heard this. I'm not sure if this is true, but in MiG-23 and MiG-27, it is said that there is no measurement or instrument for measuring oil pressure. Is that true?
Oil pressure gauge was there. ऐसा तो नहीं है. It was there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So fighter pilots are often known for there is split second decision. So, sir, was there any
Hmm.
moment, or do you recall any moment where like you now look back as a that you took a really great decision at that time when flying, or
Yeah, many times you have to take decisions and you have to take it fast. Okay, you have to take it quickly because stakes are pretty high. Okay, if you linger on, if you don't take the correct decision at correct time, okay, uh, someone may lose his life. Okay. So while flying also, during many missions, when you feel that the weather is getting bad, especially over the hills when you are flying, you have to take a call to abort the mission and you have to do it. Okay. Explanations why you have done it can be deliberated on ground. But if it all has to be taken, it has to be taken. And you have to take it. I have also taken it many times when you are flying in an exercise. You know that there are some 4 or 6 aircrafts along with you. Okay. And you have to abort it because the weather is becoming dirty and dirty. Okay. So the main thing is to come back and land safely. Okay. Mission can be flown. So it is mission accomplishment vis-a-vis flight safety. That is what was being taught to us. Um, After that, also, when I became crew of the station, okay, I have given call for ejection also because there was one aircraft which was on the circuit and I was in the ATC and it had a engine seizure, MiG-21 basically. So I gave a call for ejection also to him
so
because
can
the
you walk us through
controller
that? What
controller.
actually happened?
Oh, it was I am forgetting the name of the squadron. I was crew of the station. They had come to us for the detachment, in which this aircraft, he had an engine seizure while he was returning back. And he gave a call of Mayday, Mayday, and all everything. I was sitting in the ATC supervising flying, and the DATCO who was there on controls. So he was actually frozen when he heard Mayday, Mayday, and engine seizure and all. So I told him give him a call for ejection, ejection. I took his mic. I said eject, eject, and he ejected. Of course, he ejected, and he was safe. So you have to take a call. Okay, whenever it is required to be done. You have to do it.
Yes, sir. Sir, talking about the radar in MiG-21 and both in MiG-27, sir, how was the radar like? Was it rudimentary or were the radar upgraded over the period of time?
Radar, MiG-21 radar, which we had it in Type 77, was a basic radar Almas. I think I'm forgetting the name also. It was a very rudimentary, very basic radar which was there. Okay. MiG-27 didn't have anything like that. MiG-27 was a ground attack aircraft, so there was no work of radar.
So, sir, somehow opposition is able to lock on you. So, did you know that you were locked?
There were other instruments which used to give or which used to blink when the other chap had logged on to you, and it was more of it became much better when the upgrade started. So you had this thing at which clock code the enemy has logged on to you. Okay, so there was a gauge which used to tell us at which clock code, whether it's from the left, right, front, back, from where, which side. And of course, you had shafts and flare dispensers which used to fire to break that lock and thereafter exit from that area.
Yes,
So
sir.
that facility was there. Okay, that facility is there.
Yes, sir. So, talking about some MiG-27 more in depth. So, you were also there in Operation Parakram in Adampur, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, what was your role?
Actually, during Parakram, I was in 18 Squadron Bullets, which was in Kalaikunda.
Yes, sir.
So when Parakram started, the op location for 18 Squadron was Suratgarh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but there was some requirement to safeguard the northern side also, because 9 Squadron which was there in Adampur, they had moved on to Srinagar. So we were those people, like we were six of us who were high altitude qualified pilots. Okay, we had that experience of flying in the area, and we were high altitude qualified. So we were told to be positioned in Adampur in case of any eventuality wherein we had to take on operations in the northern sector from there. But nothing happened. During Parakram there was no action which took place. So we were just on standby there.
Yes, sir. So,
Valley qualified and high altitude qualified people were being sent there.
yes, sir. So, I was reading through this article and also I was watching this video. The Wing Commander Oswald, unfortunately, he lost his life in MiG-27 engine. I think it was while taking off. It did blast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Engine wasn't fired during takeoff roll. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I was reading this article. It's mentioned that the Russian engines are quite sketchy in terms of their reliability. Is this true? And so you mentioned that there was engine seizure. Can you tell the viewers what's the difference between engine seizure and engine failure?
Engine seizure, that was the that was MiG-21 Type 75 aircraft which had engine seizure and the pilot ejected. Seizure is like when there is something malfunction and the engine stops completely,
Yes, sir.
ceases. Engine on fire, Oswald had this engine on fire while on takeoff roll, because MiG-27, the engines were okay, but because of the power which they used to generate, the temperature in the turbine blades used to go very high.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And because of that, the high temperature, the power reduction by some percentage was being done. I'll not call it out here, but yes, the power was being reduced so that the temperature does not rises that much, which leads to malfunction of turbine blades. Okay, but still cases were there, and Aussie had the same thing. The engine caught fire, and that was on the very you can say it was on the takeoff roll, which is very very I'll say crucial. Okay, and his accident was a fatal accident. He was with me in 9 squad, in 18 squad, both the places he was there with me.
Yes, sir. Sir, can you
He was
walk?
not there in 9. He was in 18. Sorry, he was in 18 only.
Yes, sir. Sir, that famous incident happened. Unfortunately, later Group Captain Nachiketa, he his aircraft crashed in Mig. I believe it was Mig 27 only. So, sir,
Hmm.
mm, going through the article, it mentioned that Mig 27 guns are quite powerful, and when you fire it, the whole aircraft shakes. So,
Yeah,
what's the like? I'm forgetting the name of the gun or cannons.
it was a Gatling gun, a 6-barrel Gatling gun. Okay, it had 6 barrels in it. Okay, so the barrels used to rotate while you're firing. Duck, 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 duck. Karke, it used to rotate, and
Yes,
that
sir.
rotation used to cause vibration in the aircraft.
Yes, sir.
A very powerful gun, of course, a very powerful gun, because that for that era, the 6 barrel firing at you was something.
Yes, sir.
So it used to shake the aircraft well, and because of that, some of the aircrafts, the engine used to surge. And especially so when the aircraft is flying in the high altitude. Okay, because the air is rarefied. Okay, you are not getting that much of power. Okay, so that used to cause engine failure, I'll say. And of course, Nachiketa had the same thing, and he had to eject because of it.
Yes, sir. Sir, were there cases that there were Stinger missiles being fired at you when you were going for bombing?
It not in my formation anytime, but yes, I think Mirage had a clip wherein they could spot a Stinger being fired at them when they went on for attack on Tiger Hill.
Yes,
So, and of course, Stinger was fired on Squadron Ahuja's aircraft also, because of which he had to eject and he lost his life. Stinger was fired on one of the Canberra also. Okay, so there were a lot of incidents in which the Stinger missile, the evidence was there that Stinger is there and they are firing.
yes, sir. Sir, there are many stories about Kargil War which have not been told to the audiences out there. So, sir, do you have some
Mhm.
stories? Can you please share it with
See,
us?
whatever has been told is available on open source.
Yes, sir.
There are certain things which needs to be kept confidential and cannot be told, and that was the
Okay.
reason that it is not there in black and white. So let's restrict us to whatever is available in the open source and not break the confidentiality of the Air Force as such.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Surely, sir. Sir, you went to staff college as well. Sir, can you describe how was the course and what was your experience like in staff college?
Staff college is a course which you have to do. Of course, there used to be an entrance exam. I don't know whether it's there or not, but yes, it was there. We used to qualify that exam, and then only you were being given admission in staff college. And that is one place where you interact with your counterparts from Army and Navy also. Even some civilian officers are also there, and there are foreign officers also from other air forces also. They come and they participate in that. So it gives you a wide exposure of how things are happening in your sister arms as well as in other places abroad. Okay, so a lot of cohesion, a lot of synergy, which is the need of the hour, and how can you go about improving that? Okay, because nowadays there cannot be a operation which can be led only by one arm. Okay, it has to be a combined effort by Army, Navy, and Air Force, and that synergy is taught in staff college. Of course, along with that, a lot of staff work, how to go about your day-to-day operations and all those things. So it was a good experience. The environment is very, very beautiful. Okay, Uti is a good place to be. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Kunur is a good place to be. So it was a very, very good experience which we had in staff college. 1 year of good training, good jointmanship that used to be called.
Yes, sir. Sir, did you become psychologist after this, after staff college?
No, before going for staff college, I had the opportunity to do this course as a psychologist. I cleared it and I got posted to FO Selection Board Varanasi. From there only, I cleared my staff college and I went for staff college.
Yes, sir. So, sir, do you opt for psychologist, or are you given the various?
It is that you have to forward your name, and thereafter they used to vet it, and there was some criteria. I don't know how, but then the vetting used to be there, and after filtering, only the officers were being called for the course. So I forwarded my name, and it came. So I did it also, and it was a good experience to be in the assessment board also.
Yes, sir. Sir, being a psychologist, you used to check people's stories. So, can you tell one story which was totally different from others, or very interesting story, or abstract?
I, there are so many cases. There are so many times that the stories are different from others, and especially it comes from the people who come as a repeater, totally prepared, okay, and misguided, I will say. Okay. So they come with some preconceived ideas. They prepare the story. They come with preconceived ideas, and they somehow try to fit in that story in whatever picture has been shown to you. Okay. So n number of times you find people there in the system. Okay. Other than that person who people can give you a broad overview of the tests which are being conducted, but exactly the nitty gritties are known to only the person who is there in the assessment board, and he knows what are the minute details which are being looked into. So
Yes, sir.
if somebody takes something or some input from a person who has not been there, and so there are so many such people floating around in open source and YouTube and Instagram and all other places, claiming that they can guide you, which actually goes wrong. And being an assessor in the system, you can catch very easily that this person has been wrongly coached, and that is why he's giving all these things, which is actually not relevant to the stimulus which has been shown to him.
Yes, sir.
So it happens.
So, why did you decide to become psychologist? Not opt for
I
interview.
didn't decide it. I didn't decide. It just happened actually with me.
Okay, sir.
Because it came and I filled up and I got this opportunity. So I went there. And when I went there, I started liking the thing also, the job which was there. So it
Yes,
just
sir.
happened. You may
Yes,
call it, in my case, it was destiny to for me to be there in the assessment board.
yes,
Otherwise, there was no planned this thing for me to become a psychologist.
yes, sir. So, talking about psychology in detail, sir, one of the mistake which repeaters do is that they mention that they come with preconceived idea that they have decided I
Yeah.
will make the following story or somehow fit the story into this to make it, uh,
Yeah.
uh, I would say, logical in some way. But that doesn't work. So, why
Mm.
people usually do this, and what's the right way for them in order to actually improve upon their story and thinking skills?
See, it's like when you talk about SSB is all about your personality assessment, and the personality assessment is based on those 15 officer like qualities which are there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So your performance, whether it's by a psychologist or by a GTO or by an interviewing officer, is purely based only on your ability to show those 15 OLQs in you. Okay. So that is the bottom line for any candidate. Okay, who gets recommended. If you're able to show it, you are recommended. If you're not able to show it, you're not recommended. Okay. So when a person is being asked to write a story, okay, or a sentence or a reaction, okay, or he is told to do something on ground, or he is being talked to by an interviewing officer, okay, it is the assessor is only looking out for those qualities in him. Okay. And for that, you have to be very, very natural. Okay. You have to be natural in a way, because see what has been, I am showing you a, say for example, I'm showing you a horse's picture. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, or maybe I'm showing you, say for example, I'm showing you a donkey's picture. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I want you to write about a donkey. Okay. Now, if you are a repeater and you have been wrongly coached, people will say, oh, no, no, no. Donkey is a bड़ी बकवास animal. अगर वो दिखे चार पैर का तो हॉर्स के बारे में लिख देना. Okay, because horse is good. So I'm just giving you a very raw example. Okay. So what people do is, those who are coached wrongly, they will write about a horse. Okay. While I want you to write about a donkey. So here we catch him. I have shown you certain things, certain stimulus, and I want certain kind of emotions or certain kind of feelings to be there once you see that picture. Now, if you're not relating to it, and if you are saying something which is totally irrelevant, what will I say? I'll say that you are being wrongly coached, or you are not able to conceive it, only that your comprehension capabilities are so poor that you are not being able to comprehend what has been shown to you. So, mainly, what a candidate should do is to be totally, I'll say, open as to what has been shown to him. Observe it carefully, see what has been shown to you, the number of characters which are there, what is the environment, what is the dress they are wearing, what is the mood of the characters. Okay, and then from there onwards, see what is the problem which is there in that picture.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if that picture has been shown to you, why has it been shown to you? Okay, what can be the problem? Okay, so if a boy is sitting on a table, why is he sitting? Whether he's studying for his exam, whether he's trying to complete some project, whether he is doing some calculation, why? And that problem needs to be, the solution to that problem needs to be found out. Okay. If a person follows this basic flowchart, his stories will be good, because in that flow, while you're observing it, while you are able to find out a problem and then you are giving a solution to it, then the OLQs will automatically pop out. You don't have to make any effort in doing so. Okay.
Sir.
So
Here,
if
yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
that is it. So if you follow this thing, you will certainly become your stories will certainly become good. Okay, but if you don't, and if you come with some preconceived ideas, yes, it will be at times away from the thing which has been shown to you, going on a tangent. Okay, which will give an idea to the assessor that this boy has been wrongly coached.
Yes, sir. So there's one myth, or I'm not sure whether it's a myth or not. So that you have served in three different boards, if I'm correct. So, sir, people say
I've
that
served in
three different boards. Am I right?
uh, two boards.
Two boards.
I've been to Dehradun and Varanasi. Yeah.
So which one do you like the most?
Both are same.
Yes, sir.
Environment wise, Dehradun is better because it's a it's a place to be. But otherwise, working culture wise, both are same. There's no difference in boards as such, because the job is same. Whatever you are doing in Varanasi, you're doing same thing in Mysore. You're doing the same thing in Dehradun. Everywhere is the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, place, the environment can be different. Dehradun is a good place, a hilly hill station, you can say. Okay, so that way it was better.
Sir, there's a common thing among repeaters is that select Dehradun because most of the recommendation or number of people recommended from that board are much high compared to others. So is this true in some way?
No, no, it's not true. It's just by, you can say, it's just by chance that people who are going to Dehradun, they are getting selected. Of course, the geography of that board also, the nearby geography of that board also plays an important role, because see, the people who opt for Dehradun are basically people residing in Delhi or in the northern area, Chandigarh, Punjab, and all those people. They come to uh, Dehradun. Okay, people who come to Varanasi are mainly from Eastern Belt. Okay, so there the difference comes in play. Okay, the overall exposure which a boy has got in staying in a village in eastern part of our country to a boy who is staying in a metro city like a Delhi. Okay, there is a difference. So maybe that is the reason. That is what my comprehension. It can be totally wrong also, but that is what I feel. Okay, but there is otherwise there is nothing like कि देहरादून में सिलेक्शन ज्यादा होते हैं एंड वाराणसी में कम होते हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. वाराणसी में भी खूब होते हैं. The person who is capable, who is able to show his OLQ in a positive way, will get recommended whether he is from Dehradun or he's in Varanasi or he's in Gandhinagar or any of the SSB.
Yes, sir. So we are coming to the end of the podcast. Sir, do you have any life lesson or a story or anything which you think that mm, might bring positive impact in audience life? So can you share it with us?
See, my take in life is that do things towards which you are passionate about. Okay. If you are passionate about joining armed forces, please go ahead and join. Okay. But give your 110% in doing so. Okay. Follow the right way. Okay. Follow your dreams, chase them well, work with utmost honesty. Okay. And dedication. You will achieve your goal. If not today, tomorrow, but one day you will achieve. But if you're not passionate, if you are just giving it as a try, okay, without any passion, without any dedication, then of course it will not work out. And even if it works out, then once you are there, um, you will feel, I'll say, frustrated. Okay, and that will not serve the purpose. So give your 100% to your passion. Follow your dream. Okay, passionately, with full dedication, and God willing, one day you will be there. Okay, that is what I feel should be the philosophy of life for any individual. Whether now, if you're passionate in armed forces, go in for armed forces. You're passionate in fashion designing, go in for fashion designing. You love cooking, go in and become a chef. What is wrong in it? There is no work which is chota or bada. Everything is like, if you're doing it with passion, it is equally good. Okay, but have that passion, have that courage of conviction of telling people that yes, I want to go there, and be there. You will be there.
Yes, sir. Yes. Surely, sir, passion is required for everything. Yes. So, thank you for coming on this podcast, sir, in AVIATOR'S VOICE. So, it was a privilege to have you over here, and we are really honored to have you over here. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights and experiences. I'm sure the audience and I as will learn a lot. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mehul. I wish you all the very best. Okay, may your podcast and may your channel see the I'll say uh, highs and the highs which are there in the media, in the social media. Okay, all the best. Do well. Okay, Godspeed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.